Hey, all. This is Camille coming to you live on the We Got This Mind and Body page. I am I'm always excited, but I'm even ultra excited today because I don't know if you know about me, but I'm about learning how to grow my own fruits and vegetables. Not because I'm trying to be a farmer. Not that. I'm from the city, honey. I'm not that at all. But because I truly want to have a hand in the food that I'm preparing, understanding how it is being grown, saving money on the cost of doing, the veggies, and also having it readily available for me and doing it as a family within my kitchen, within my home. And I'm super excited because a lot of us, we hear about, you know, uh, food is medicine. But when we truly understand the power of the food, you'll really, really, really say, yes, food is medicine. I'm not just going to be doubling up on my vitamin C during a cold. I'm not just going to be having my zinc. No, there's so many other things that we can be eating year round that is going to love into ourselves. And I am so excited to have my amazing friend, a certified nutritionist, Miss Kristen, about to tell us about all of her endeavors in her nutritional journey, along with when she showed me this veggie tower. I had to buy one. I had to do it. My husband's like, say what? I'm in on this too. Now, if you could get the husband in on this, hello, you're winning. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce to you my beautiful sister, Miss Kristen Owens. How are
Hey,
you, my dear?
I'm awesome. It's so good to be here and chatting about one of my favorite things to chat about, and that's food. So thank you for
Me
having
too,
me, Camille.
girl.
Yeah.
But to know me, to know I'm not about diets because I am one of those that get hangry. See, you know what hangry is? You don't
I
want to know
do.
Camille's hangry. I even have a name for her. You don't want to ever meet her. I did it for 3 days and I was like, nope, diets are not for me. Taking away macros are not for me. So what do I need to do? Because I still want to have that beautiful health, that you see the skin 41 plus and more going. Yes, this is
Yes.
what I want. But how do
Yes.
I do that, without these fad diets and when I
Yeah.
learned about the power of food, because I did
Mm,
a holistic nutrition and I love it. Understanding, especially seeing that background there, the power of veggies and the fiber that a lot of us women are actually missing in our diet. Definitely. Let's
yeah.
hear about it, girlfriend.
Yeah. So, gosh, I've been in the wellness industry 28 years. So it's been a very long time. I started in the fitness industry, and there was something when I was in the fitness industry, there was something that was missing. We know that exercise is necessary, right? We know that there's pieces of our wellness puzzle, which makes up our holistic wellness, that is necessary for us to live optimally and age well, right?
Yes.
Because all of us women, it doesn't matter how old you are, especially if you're 40 plus, you want to age well. And I'm here to tell you that you absolutely can. So, being in the fitness industry, yes, you're taught to eat well and you're taught to move your body. However, I would see, as a personal trainer, I would see women where they would get results until they didn't get results,
Mhm.
or they weren't getting the results and they were doing what they were told. There was pieces that were missing. So that's actually how I got into the holistic world. Um, and I had my first daughter, she'll be 20 in January. And I just dove into, because I was experiencing my own symptoms,
Mhm.
and symptoms that actually were related to toxic burden, an overloaded system, and gut issues. My gut was a mess and I
Mm.
had no idea.
Mhm.
And I didn't realize how simple it could be for me to get back on track. And so I went to school to be a holistic nutritionist. That was, my son is 17, so I graduated 16 years ago. And
Mhm.
back then, that was like, it was like people would say, "You're a holistic what?"
Like, say
Nowadays, it's more,
what?
yeah, nobody knew what holistic
Yeah.
was. And really what holistic health is looking at the whole person, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, physically. It's not just what are you eating and how are you moving? There's so many
Yes.
pieces. Now, food, one of my passions obviously is food, and teaching families that you can take ownership of your health just by that piece of what are you putting in your body. Because for everybody, we come from, everyone starts from their own place. So food we have to eat food, and it's a good place to start, right? Because we can do that. So it really is looking at, Hippocrates said 400 BC, he said, let food be thy medicine and medicine be thy food. So we need to look at food as, as our medicine. And when we go to choose what we're going to eat, ask ourselves, is this taking us closer to health or further away from health? Because I know back in the day, I would eat, fast food, and I just thought my stomach was hungry. I just needed to eat to stop the growling, right? But then I started to learn the impact food has on our body and what food was actually designed to do in our body. So when we fast forward, I have two trees here, a Christmas tree and a tower garden. So as a nutritionist, I don't recommend vitamins and minerals per se. I don't recommend, the supplements that are made in a lab, that are supposed to mimic real food and whole food. I recommend the food. And yes, we need to fill the gaps. And it's very important because our food does not contain the nutrients it once did. So because of green harvesting, what a lot of people don't realize, Camille, is that when we are going to the grocery store, even if it's organic, but food in general, food is being picked, especially in the wintertime here in Canada. You and I live just down the street from each other, which we never do. And
crazy.
when we go to the grocery store and we go to pick our food, and we are choosing the best foods for us, so it's not our fault. We know, okay, this is what we need to choose, whole foods to be healthy. But what a lot of people don't realize is our food was picked when it was green. And when green harvesting actually is being, say, for example, taking the squash, or, just because it's sitting right here, if we're picking this before it's ripe, by the time we get it, the nutrients come in the last 48 hours of ripening. So we need to make sure that we are getting max nutrition, because when you're hungry, Camille, your body is saying, I want minerals, I want vitamins, I want food, real food that's going to nourish my body, right?
Exactly.
And so the green harvesting, with this tower garden, I'm picking this right from the vine. It's not sitting in my fridge. I'm getting it when it's ripe. Like, look at this here. Like,
That's amazing. I can't wait to get mine. Like, I'm super excited for this.
Yes.
It is so powerful. And, a lot of people will talk about food and say, okay, I get it. We're supposed to be eating this because of this thing called gut health, because the inflammation. But people don't realize something, and I'm going to say it. We are one big bacteria.
Yes, we
Humans are one big bacteria. This physical body of ours, not our spiritual. Our spiritual is pure, beautiful. But our physical is all bacteria. We have good bacteria and we have bad bacteria. And just as Kristen said, when we eat that fast food, we're feeding the bad bacteria and actually killing off the good bacteria, our microbes. So there's bacteria that we want to actually feed. Right.
Yes.
And when we are feeding it good food, like veggies are a source of fiber. They also are low in carbs. So they do still give energy. You're feeding the good bacteria in the gut. The gut's like, I got my friend here. Let's do a little cleanup, because they're OCD, right? They clean up all of the areas that we have in our stomach and also help reduce that inflammation. So there's power in the food, and it's really on how our bacteria really engages with it. Because if it's a bad food, even if it's like a white rice or potato, our stomach is saying, and what am I supposed to do with this? What am I pulling out from this? I don't get it. So you know what? So let's add some sugar. Let's convert this into sugar so we can break it down and get rid of it, because it's serving us no purpose. But while it's breaking it down into sugar, it's killing some good bacteria. It's giving you that inflammation, and then you got to push it out. Right. So this is why I love that tower. Let's look at this tower behind her. She has, what do you have there? You have spinach.
I've got up here. So this is where this is the home unit. So there is, well, you can't see it, but there's some baby greens or microgreens you can actually grow up here. But I actually planted too many seeds, not realizing. So I had to grow up here. But there's kale, different types of kale in here. This is actually, it's called tatsui. Let me pick this here. Look at this. Look how dark that is.
And
Like
she did. Let me tell you
that's
something. We do not live on a farm, people. We live in this. We live in the community. She's growing this in her house. In her
no
house.
green thumb. I'm not a green thumb. I'm more of the black thumb, the one that kills plants, right? So,
Yeah.
as they say, so this is simple. You can grow pretty much everything on it. It's vine ripened. So, when you
Mm,
look at this green, that's chlorophyll. That alkalizes our body. The other thing that, as we're talking about gut bacteria, is when we are eating more fiber, the fiber actually feed the good bacteria within our gut and helps them to
mm.
flourish, right? So if you go out and buy probiotics in a bottle have like 6 to 7 strains. Our gut needs 30,000 plus
Mhm.
strains, different strains.
Yeah.
So when we're consuming more fiber grown in our house, you can't see it here, but it's a basin, and the basin holds water. There's non-synthetic, so it's actual real minerals that are being put in there for
Mhm.
nourishing the plants. And this is after 4 weeks.
That's only 4 weeks?
4 weeks. Yeah.
Wow.
So I had planted basil. Okay. So the basil in my rock wool. So what happens is when you purchase this unit, you have a starter kit that comes with it. So you get the minerals, you get the pH, you get the seeds that come with it, organic, non-GMO. You plant it in the rock wool, which is the medium that the seeds go in, and then you put the rock wool in the little pods that you can't see because there's too many plants. And
Mhm.
basically, the basil wasn't growing. Like it
Mm.
barely was starting, where these other plants, the legs were this long. And then I was
Yeah.
able to move them in. I thought, oh, do I throw it out? Do I keep it? I thought, you know what? I'm just going to put the basil in and it will do its thing. I'm not kidding you. It must have been, I didn't time it, but it was probably, I don't know, 6 weeks. Nothing happened with the basil for 6 weeks. And all of a sudden, one day, it just was there. And then it kept growing. And I
Mm.
had so much basil. Oh my gosh, Camille, you should have smelled this basil.
Oh, I
Absolutely
love the smell of
beautiful.
basil. You know what it
It's
sounds like? It sounds like that basil comes from the what are those that pandas eat? What
mm,
are
yeah, the sugar cane.
the
Is it
canes? You know,
sugar
because you know
cane
how
that
it
they eat?
takes like so
Yes.
many years of it growing downwards before it
Yes.
comes up,
The bamboo.
right?
The bamboo.
The bamboo, that's
Yes.
it. The bamboo, that's it. The
Yeah.
bamboo, how it takes over and
Yes.
and it just flourishes. But
Yeah.
what I love about that is again, yes, bamboo, thank you, is the
Mhm.
power of food. And that's why I get excited about when I see those greens. So like for
Yeah.
myself, with my clients, I teach them the power of the volume method. And what the volume method is saying that we can eat as much veggies. We should have it at
Yes.
every meal.
Yes.
And the reason why we call the volume method is because instead of highlighting the protein, that's what we're always doing. We're always highlighting the protein. We need
Yes,
to
we are.
highlight our
Yes.
veggies, and we can
Yes.
have even
Fiber.
2, 3 cups. Fill up on it. Fill
Yes.
up because the receptors in your stomach are going to get
Yes.
indication that you're full because you
Yes.
are filling up more on the veggies. Now, because you are also filling up on the veggies, you're
Yeah.
getting the benefits of the fiber flowing through you. So that pooping scale is going to look fantastic. That you
Oh,
need to
yes.
poop in order to flush out, as well as it's also our gut is our second stomach, our second brain, where we also
Yeah.
do have a lot of our hormones, especially as us women. Our
Yes,
hormones
yes.
will really sit in there. So we want to really flush it out. So I
Yeah.
really talk a lot in my program about the power of having the veggies, of having that volume
Good.
method. And when you're
Good.
getting it in abundance like that, without having to pay $8, $9 at the grocery store, or wait until it's in season, or get some that's been picked that wasn't in season that's ripening on the
Yeah.
way there, or even worse yet, like I had a lady today ask about can she get celery juice from the grocery store? Can she just buy the pre-bought one? I was like, of
Mm,
course you could buy it, but I don't recommend it. I always say when
no.
everybody says can, I say, yeah, you can, but don't do it. And the
Yes.
reason
Yeah.
but being is because a lot of the things that we're seeing in the grocery store, in order for it to stay the way it's staying, there's a lot of
Yeah.
hidden preservatives. There's things that they're spraying
Yeah.
on it. And now we're
Yeah.
wondering why are these kids? Because I know me growing up in the 80s and 90s, I loved me some peanut butter sandwiches. But now
Oh,
all
yeah.
these new generations are coming up with all of these allergies, right?
Yeah.
Or all these food aversions. So we really need to take a hound. Like I have a really good friend. I follow. She's on my Instagram. So it grow. Her name's Jen. I grew up
Yeah.
with her, and she grows all of her veggies. And when I tell you, when I look at what she has created from her backyard versus what
Yeah.
I'm getting at Sobeys, I
Yeah.
say that we're the
I agree.
nincompoops here. And it's not even that we're
Yeah.
nincompoops, it's because we look for convenience, fast,
Absolutely.
and we actually don't know what we don't know. And that's why it's important that we
That's right.
have you here, Kristen, to tell
Yeah.
us about this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful
Yeah.
uh tower.
Contraction. Yes.
Yes. Yes, I
And
love it.
you know what? And the cool thing is, Camille, is that it doesn't just grow greens, it grows pretty much everything. Everything. So, except tubers, although I did just speak with somebody last weekend and she told me she was growing beets. Now, I don't know how fast they're going to grow, but my tower downstairs, I have one in the basement, and that one will have green beans, peppers and zucchini
Wow.
and cucumber. You have not tasted celery. You have not tasted these vegetables. Really haven't tasted what they taste like until you've tasted them from the
I'm gonna
tower.
taste it soon
So,
because I'm getting
we
my
have
tower.
yes, 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 yes. You got to grow those things, baby. So,
Yes.
so people will say, well, I think I can't get my head around how it doesn't have soil. Soil is just a medium
Mm,
that seeds grow in.
mm.
This was actually developed by NASA a long time ago. And then Tim Blank, who, if anyone wants more information, we have a really great recording that we can send. But Tim Blank is the founder. He has a patent on this, and he actually sold it to the Tower Garden Company. And the Juice Plus company, Tower Gardens, they're one and the same. And so they sold it to the company. And now, of course, there's lots of competition, but I can guarantee you, I've been with this company for many, many years. I can guarantee you that this will not break down. Like, I mean, even the lights. I have friends that have been tower gardening for 13 years. They've never had anything go wrong. My one friend in LA, it's hot in LA. She has her tower gardens outside on her front lawn, 3 of them. And she said that she's never had any issues.
Oh.
The sun beating down, never had any issues. So you can grow inside. You can take the flex unit, which is the one I have downstairs. In the summer, you can put it outside, and then in the winter, you can bring it inside. It's so flexible. There's so much opportunity to grow pretty much anything. A lot of people that I start with, they'll start with greens. And then we have it now. There's a cage that goes around it. You don't see it here, but there's a cage that you can purchase, and you can do your peppers and your zucchini all on this unit here.
Wow.
So it's really cool. No chemicals, vine ripened. Every 30 minutes that a piece of produce is being picked off of the vine, it is losing nutrients and minerals every 30 minutes.
Wow.
You know, when you talk about the celery juice, the woman was asking you, can I just buy it from the store? Yes, you can. However, we have to remember that once you juice, or once you open up the cut, whatever it is you're cutting, or juice it, or whatever it is, it's oxidizing. When it hits light and air, it oxidizes because our environment is oxidizing. We're breathing in we're breathing, like my husband actually does testing. He can test oxidation of what's happening within our water and our air. And when we put the meter in the air, you should see oxidation. So we are breathing in that.
Yeah.
But when we eat something like this and we alkalize our body, because to truly prevent dis-ease and to heal our body, because our body was designed to heal itself, to truly heal, nothing will heal us. Our body has ability. We just have to remove what is causing, burden on our body, and then give our body what it's not getting. Our bodies are pretty intelligent. And so when we are alkalizing with vegetables and produce, and the other thing too is alkalizing, but protein. When we talk about protein, you're absolutely right. People are focusing on protein more than they are fiber. And we have high incidences of cancer in the colon nowadays.
Yes.
So here is going to alkalize, provide fiber, change the gut bacteria where all disease starts, and the protein content in green produce. What do elephants, gorillas, all the largest animals on the planet, where do they get their protein from? They eat greens. They're herbivores. There's just a shift in mindset and perception that I think we have to start to talk about and educate on, because in the world that I'm in, with these bodybuilders and these healthy, plant-based people. I'm not saying that you shouldn't eat meat, or, I'm not preaching that. What I preach is we need to eat more produce. So if you're choosing to eat
Yeah,
meat, make
me
sure it's
too.
clean, but we got to eat more produce. We're not eating enough produce.
Yeah.
It's all
And yeah, and I'm going to just touch on that because a lot of people, when we're talking about a wellness plan, or when
yeah,
they think about nutritionists, or even what I do too as well, they're
yeah,
thinking, "Oh my goodness, does that mean I'm going to have to eat kale chips, quinoa?" That's the response I get, like,
yes,
But you know what I always say to people? It's
yeah,
because you haven't been fully educated on the food that you're eating. When you're educated on the food that you're eating, especially
yeah,
the processed food, when you understand what's in it and know how it's actually affecting your body, and when you do remove it, understanding that you're going to go through a form of detoxing when you're doing that, but once that's
yeah,
completely removed and you have replaced it with great
yes,
food that
yes,
is going to be cleaning you out, that is going to help reduce your inflammation when your monthly is coming, right? Like when us women have our monthlies,
yeah,
and especially as we're getting older and going through menopause, our body requires different nutrients. When
yeah,
you can truly understand how that food that you're putting in your system is actually elevating you even greater, you're going
yeah,
to get more excited to eat.
yes,
You're going to be more intrigued. You're going to be more
yes,
susceptible to do it. But when
yes,
someone's telling you, okay, on this diet, we're going to remove all your carbs. On this diet, you're going to have to drink all this liquid. You're going to have to
yeah,
take these pills.
yeah,
No, that's not realistic because that's not life. When we get a true understanding, and that's why it's very important to work with individuals like you and myself, because
yeah,
we are about not about the education. And when we say education, we're not going to sit here and tell you the definition of leptin and ghrelin, and tell you
exactly.
about the definitions of what it means to be insulin resistant versus metabolic syndrome.
Yeah,
We're not getting sciencey with you. Right?
yeah,
We want you to get
yeah,
excited about food, get understanding about food. So even having something as interesting as Kristen has right here, that tower, like that right there excites me, because you know what it says to me before anything? Okay, I'm a mom of three. I have a dog and a husband and a mortgage. First thing it says to me is that not only is saving me time on getting to the grocery store, it's saving me money. First
yes,
and foremost, I'm
absolutely.
gonna just say it straight. First of all, I'm seeing the money that's saved here.
Yeah,
Secondly, it's making me think, you are right. They are picking it like this. Where's it actually coming from? What are they spraying on it? All these what ifs, right? It start to
yeah,
pop into my head. What am I really giving my kids? What am I doing to myself? Right.
yeah,
So that
yeah,
interest starts to come into play. And then thirdly, when you are truly understanding food and knowing that to prepare food is actually easier, faster, and cheaper. Hello.
hello.
You're gonna do it. But it all comes with habits. It all comes with
Yeah,
understanding, and it all comes with taking action. And that's why there's power in having mentors, having coaches, having
yeah,
conversations such as the ones that we are having. We are talking about the tower, not just to say, "Hey, look at the tower," but we're also encouraging you all, if you all are interested in getting this, not if, let's
yeah,
start to become interested, and let's get
yeah,
building a better overall healthier lifestyle. And this is fun that you can have with your kids. It's not, you can have it in your home, whether you live in an apartment, a
yeah,
condo, a home,
yeah.
a house. It fits conveniently. There's different sizes as well, right? You said there's two different sizes, right?
So this unit right here, so when you look at it on the screen, it looks quite big, but
Mhm.
I've had people come to my house and say, "Oh my gosh, that's actually not as big as what I thought." Because when you see it on a screen, it looks different. There's two units. The flex unit is a bigger base. If you were to stand, put your hands on your hips and turn in a circle, that's the circumference of it. So
Oh.
this unit right here, the home unit, was actually designed for condo units, smaller, because you can't see the bottom of it, but it's very compact.
Mm.
It's really not that big, and it's actually a beautiful showcase. You can have it in a bedroom, wherever, the basement, wherever you want. I have it on a main level, and I have my other one in the basement, just
Mhm.
because it's I don't have much room for both. But yeah, so it's very convenient for whatever size. The way I see it is because health is one of my top values, and I was willing to. My son doesn't love it up here. He likes things a certain way. I'm
Mhm.
like, you do that when you go to your house.
Yeah.
I'm like, you know what? This thing is is of value to me, exactly as you said, Camille. It has saved me money. My one partner, actually, an affiliate in Florida, she was saying to me that she's done calculations. She has 3 of them, and she eats a lot of produce. She actually had cancer in the past, and this is the way she eats. And she said, honestly, this is A, saved my health, but she said, B, it saved me about $3,000 to $4,000 a year. So she's calculated it out. So that's a big deal.
And then when you think about it, okay, fine. You go to the grocery stores and buy your produce, but how long is your produce even lasting in your fridge? Right?
And how long is it being on the shelf? Probably a lot longer than we realize.
Absolutely. And we know on certain grocery stores, I don't know where you're located, but certain grocery stores here in Canada, we know that the produce is going to be a lot more ripe there, and you have to eat that within like a day or two. Because it probably was transferred from somewhere else that wasn't selling, right? So there's so much that goes on behind the scenes. I'm so grateful for the hands that prepare and allow us to have easy, accessible food at the grocery store. I'm very grateful for them because, there's so many places in this world where they have to fend and find the food. So I have to say I'm very grateful for that. But in saying that, I'm also grateful for the fact that we have a beautiful earth that was provided to us that has everything that we need to survive. And I'm grateful for the information that I'm learning so that I can also thrive and be able to pay it forward, not only with my clients, but with my family. And I see that tower as a family project. Right. That is super cool. And when you can actually do something with the kids, they can be even more excited about the food. Like, I did this.
Yes. Right? And speaking of family, speaking of kids, thank you. Just reminded me, is the company actually has program that is for whether school, because we have these units in schools. Actually, up in Georgetown and Acton, we just put 3 towers in one school, 2 in another school. But when you have a tower, you can actually get your kids involved because they have a schooling program from like JK all the way up to either grade 8 or grade 12. I can't quite remember. So really, really awesome, because one of the things that we know, and another partner of mine in Hamilton, actually, she was saying that she was a school teacher and she taught on eco type stuff. And she was saying that when she would get kids involved in gardening in the classroom, it completely transformed the classroom. Kids actually change. We know that through the research, it actually changes them. So if you have kids, this is something I'm telling you. My youngest daughter, who's 13, she does not like salads. I'm telling you, she eats these. Like, she now picks her own. So if you have kids that are not eating enough, this is like a game changer. So, and it's very affordable. That's the awesome. It is very affordable. And it's not something that there's monthly plan, interest free. So it's not like you're paying, 16% or whatever it is. It's interest free. You can pay in full. And there's a community. You're supported. If you have any issues, it's not like you purchase this from a company and then you're on your own. We have an entire community. So it's a
movement, because it's a lifestyle, right? It is a lifestyle
Exactly.
that we truly want to bring to each and every one of you all, and to know that you can do it yourself, that we don't have to continuously rely, especially after the year that we went through, where we went through so many shortages. I'll tell you right now in Toronto, I don't know if you probably, Kristen, you probably didn't even notice it because you have your tower. There is a massive lettuce shortage happening right now. So if you go into any grocery store in Toronto, I don't know if it's in Ontario, but I know all of GTA, you're only allowed to buy 1 head of lettuce, period.
And it's like $15.
$15, girl.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to kiss my teeth. That's rude. But it just makes me do that because I'm flabbergasted. And it's like, and now, can you imagine now that we know the foods that are going to help cleanse us, help elevate us, but yet we have to sit there at the grocery store and say, can I afford it? Like, how stressful is that?
I know.
It's
I know.
So, Kristen, I have my beautiful friend Mary. She was in the comments saying that she has a tower. So I just invited her up here. So I want to, just as somebody that is actually using it too as well. I'd love. She's been doing it for 7 years. I'm gonna bring her up here. Would love to hear her experience with it too as well. Hey, Mary.
Hey.
Hi,
Crazy
ladies.
girl.
Yes, I'm loving the conversation because I don't know why I'm so close to this video thing. My head looks huge compared to yours. Yes, I've had a Tower Garden for 7 years and I absolutely love it. So I don't even know which generation mine is, but yes, everything that Kristen is saying is 100% true. You know, having it inside of the home, it beats anything. And as somebody who's so much into nutrition as well, everything that the company offers is amazing. And having that firsthand experience from a nutritionist, somebody who knows exactly what your body needs.
Yes.
You know, we don't always want to go with whatever other people say. I know, I get it. But this is all information that makes sense, and you can do your own research, like I always tell people. And I'll tell you very quickly, I was at Disney World at Epcot about 7 years ago, and they had those, I hadn't even heard of the Tower Garden, so they had these massive columns of beautiful produce, and I was just in awe. So I told my husband, I want one, I need you to build me one. And then I met somebody who was working with the company, and that's how I got my hands on the Tower Garden. And I've helped several people already set up theirs, and like I would go to their apartments and set them up, so you can have it indoor and outdoors, and it's absolutely amazing.
And in
And
terms of space, and do you how do you think about it with the space? And do you ever do the kids grab from it too as well now too?
Yeah, actually, if you go on my Facebook, you'll see that I have a Tower Garden album where, you know, the kids would be like 7 years ago. I mean, they were so little, right? And now to see them, they're so used to it. So it was a great learning tool for the kids as well, because you can grow all the different types of tomatoes. You have varieties of tomatoes that you don't see at the store, because what you learn to do is eventually you go online and you buy seeds from other places. You know, you buy your organic seeds, and it's stuff that really is from basically from the tower to the table, as we say. Everything is vine ripened. The basil, like Kristen was saying, is like, so I just got rid of all of my basil because now it's cold. So I got rid of all of it. I gave it away. I made pesto. And it's, for one of my friends said that it was the best pesto she had ever had. The arugula is extra spicy if you're into that. You
so
know,
good.
the lettuce, when you break it, I don't cut it with a knife. I break it apart with my fingers.
And it
It
goes,
smells. You can smell the lettuce. You can't smell the lettuce when
no.
you go to the store. I mean,
You,
everything.
you know what you do when you go to the store and you break it? It like turns into mush and there's like more liquid in it than anything. Like,
Yes.
right? It's just like,
Yeah.
oh gosh. It's like I get it. Like I am so excited to be jumping on the tower wagon. And I really, really, really hope that everybody that's listening sees the value of it. It really does, because not just in the cost, but in your health and in your experience. And you know what? I'm telling you, the way how this economy is going and what's going on in the back ends with a lot of these professional or scientists buying all of the farmlands right now. What's happening right now? I'm also into finances, so I know what's going on. So there's a lot of stuff being bought. I don't want to, again, that's a distraction. We can't control what's going on, but what we can control is what happens in our home and what we put into our system and into our family system. And by taking action and getting equipment such as this one, getting the information from individuals such as Kirsten or Mary or myself, and most importantly, taking that action to do it, you're going to see that the sky's not the limit. You have the entire universe to explore, but it starts with you. It starts with you taking that action. And
100%.
and I had to bring up Mary, because I love, it's always good to, yes, you know, you've had it for so long, Kristen, and you stand by it, but there's even more power when there's individuals that are also, you know, that owns one. And for 7 years, Mary, excuse me, haven't I known you for 7 years? I haven't really, but I'm just saying that. I'm just saying.
The mystery continues to evolve, Camille.
I know.
Like, okay, what else is she going to come up with?
That's right.
Yeah,
That's right.
yeah.
And that's why there's power in conversations, and there's power of showing up and standing up and speaking up. So I absolutely love this tower. And thank you so much, Mary, for coming in and telling your little stuff. I'm just gonna end it off with Kristen telling us how we can get it going and get our own tower for 2023. Bye, Miss Jersey
Thanks, Mary.
girl.
Hi.
So how can you get one? Well, so I would say actually, Camille, because people know you, is to reach out to you. I have actually, if anyone wants more information, we have a webinar recording that I can also send. And it's like 30 minutes and it gives you all the details. Also, I actually offer Tower Garden webinars. So if there's a number of people that are interested in actually seeing an actual webinar going through everything, I'm happy to do that as well. And even just having a chat, I'm happy to have a chat and with people to answer more questions. And yeah, and go from there. There is right now the sales in November. So last March in Canada, actually, so specifically Canada, I'm sure States was very similar. There was over 100,000 towers sold in the month of March.
Wow.
This past November, last month, I don't exactly know the number, but it was very, very high. We sold a lot of towers because what we're doing right now is we're getting people started so that they have it for winter. I want to get people growing before Christmas. And so right now they've I think they've caught up with the not the back order, but getting them out because they were just coming in. They had to bring in more people to the warehouse to get them out because the company is very much on top of making sure that the wait time is not crazy. So yeah, so I'm really focusing on helping getting people started before the winter season and make sure that there's no delay and people just get them and get growing and and just start eating this over what spending the money in the grocery store and just really helping to get people healthier for an immune system that's robust for this time of year.
Yes, absolutely. I absolutely love it. I actually just posted on my Instagram about the power of food and knowing that that's another topic, but the pharmas, but we're gonna leave that there. Because right now we're talking about the power of foods and we're not going to be going into all of that stuff there, but we truly want you to be in the best mind, body, soul, spirit, and business shape that you can be. And it starts with all the information that you're getting, but not even just the information that you're getting, actually taking the action and doing it too as well.
Exactly.
So definitely, if you are interested on getting your own tower, mine is coming. I cannot wait for it. Definitely connect with me and I will be sure to get you some further information. And for all this information, we always want information. Take the action. Be like Nike and just do it. I'm doing it. I did it.
Yeah.
And
I promise you, every single person that has, the ones that were like, oh, should I do it now? Because really, I mean, a lot of people don't necessarily have, I mean, it's really not that expensive, but everyone's situation is different. It will pay you back 100%. It is not something that you will regret. I can guarantee you. You just have to, sometimes jumping in and taking that first step is the challenging part, because I believe that part of owning our worth and really taking our health to the next level is just saying yes to investing in our health and in our family's health. And is it easy? No, it's not always easy, but it is necessary. And you won't regret it.
And absolutely. And a lot of the times the yes is hard for us to say, not because we don't want to do it, but because we've already been wired and programmed to habits that we've been carrying on since childhood. So for us to even separate from habits that are part of our subconscious, it is a challenge to our conscious. And that's why our conscious mind is like fight or flight. Maybe so. All of indecisive thoughts are because it is something that's new that is coming. But in order for us to really experience changes in habits, we have to take that action, be consistent, do it repetitively, and have the patience and know again that you are worth it. So I love this Kristen, I could talk about this for days because I love the power of food and the power of understanding how it works for you. It doesn't matter about your body shape. It doesn't matter about your cultural background. There's no such thing as, oh, it's in my DNA. We're learning now. We're learning right now. Because I'll tell you something. Yeah, we're learning now. So let's eradicate all of these misconceptions. And it starts with you, us, we.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
So perfect. So thank you so very much for being here, Kristen. I'm looking forward to continuing our relationship flourishing. And of course, my tower.
Yes. I'm excited.
Right. Well, everybody, thank you so very much. Again, if you want that tower, I know you want that tower. What are you waiting for? connect with me today and I'll get you go organized with Kristen because we want you in the best shape that we know you
Yes.
can be in.
Amen.
All right, everyone. This is
Amazing.
Camille. You got this. We got this. Now let's go. Until next week. We'll see you. Bye.